knowing internet historian and what stories he always picks for his videos, this one should be as crazy as the ones that we already reacted to. It's the first internet historian video that I watch that's like not about video games. Yeah, I think I just really like video game drama and like different stories about video games failing. I mean, I made a high guard video for a reason. I just accidentally poured my coffee on my floor.
The Cost of Concordia. Ship of dreams. It's been 8 years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater had hardly been used. The gym, the day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Cost of Concordia cost $570 million
It's like
to build.
I immediately
And you
lost.
could tell. You could really tell.
I'm immediately speechless because those numbers, I can't even comprehend them. It's so
I remember
crazy.
it like it was just a few years
Like-
ago.
When you can barely afford anything and people are like, oh yeah, sure, I can definitely buy a ticket on like this ship and then gamble and drink alcohol and basically live in a 5-star hotel on water. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm definitely not jealous.
We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Yes, obviously.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing.
A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January, 2012, on the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic.
Those
On a ship
13
that's
years
also
ago.
only
Wait,
safely
excuse me.
100th year anniversary of the Titanic. On a ship that's also only safety rated for
fuck?
2-compartment flooding. Especially not when you...
Bro, imagine you actually buy tickets on this cruise ship and you're like, oh yeah, it's been 100 years since the Titanic. What can possibly go wrong? I'm not a superstitious person, like at all. But even I would never, ever do this after all of this shit. It's like an actual superstitious bingo.
You have a 5-star max-level captain, like Francisco Scatino. A man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
Yes.
He knows exactly
Typical
what to do
EU
in case of
shit.
an emergency.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another
Fuck
collision.
me.
I've got a good feeling about this. So
Uh-huh.
let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening.
Okay, so I've never been on like any cruise ship. I'm afraid of water in general. I'm a very bad swimmer. I mean, I can swim. It's just really, really bad. It's not my talent, definitely. I would probably drown like immediately after like any shipwreck. I'd be the first one to die. And most likely not because I drown because I'm a bad swimmer, but because I would be just in panic. But like, what I actually hate, and I get this very weird feeling, like discomfort, while watching this, just because I think about like actually being on one of those. Can you even escape one of those ships safely? it's like such a claustrophobic feeling. It's like when you get stuck in an elevator. So yeah, it's like basically being a very rich person with an awfully strong urge to kill yourself.
People are having fun on the slides. Drinks
It's
at the
so
bar.
uncomfortable.
Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the Magician is setting up for his show.
Ah yes, my favorite Martin
And
the
ship
Magician.
is setting up for a little detour. It's called
Definitely
a
one of the
sail-by
reasons to
salute.
myself
Basically,
on a
you
big
get real close to the
boat.
ship and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition.
Okay.
Scatino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail-by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do.
I
Scatino
actually thought
turns
that
to
it's
the
a
fella
normal
steering,
thing to do.
His helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin.
But okay.
First interesting tidbit. Costa Concordia has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's
Excuse me, I need to hear this again, actually. Who is he?
his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin.
So he steers the ship, and
First
he's an
interesting tidbit.
ex-painter.
Costa Concordia has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all.
You know what? I'd be surprised if I didn't live in the EU. This is the most European thing like ever. I don't know why I'm like actually not surprised. Because first of all, they're Italians. Italians, and I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying Italians are the most lazy motherfuckers in the Europe. I'm saying this from my own experience, because some of my Italian friends literally told me that they have to wait for like months to, for example, install Wi-Fi in their apartment and shit. So yes, first of all, Italians are just lazy as fuck. Second, it's EU. Literally everything in the EU works like this. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Months? Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's a common thing. Maybe it's just their bad experience. But I actually heard a story from one of my friends who moved to Italy, and he was like, he requested a person from a company to come over to his apartment and like see how can he install this thing, how expensive it is going to be, and stuff like that. And he had to wait for like a month or two, and then like this time again to actually do this. So to evaluate and to install it. And I was like, bro, what? But as far as I know, Italians work for like a few hours a day and then they just rest and chill. So, I mean, typical Italy, I guess.
Off to a good start.
Bro, why are we even discussing this? They literally hired a dude to steer this massive fucking boat with a lot of rich people on it, and this boat is worth more than like my life, and he doesn't even speak English or Italian. Yeah, I mean,
The second in command.
this
was
guy
the
is a true Sigma.
290.
He's
Now,
too
don't be
cool.
confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time,
Okay.
the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain
Seems like a
Mario
good life,
Colombo,
yeah.
who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This and
I was busy reading. But so this sail by salute was made by this like ex-captain, and he's just easily answering calls from other captains who want to do this irrational, irresponsible thing just to fucking entertain their clients, and they're just like, ah, yeah, you just need to do this and this and that. Just honk the horn. Let's go, dude.
Colombo, who lives on the island.
Fuck,
They
this
chat
is
about
so
the safe distance
stupid.
to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway,
Classic rich
Mario says
person.
that the safe
I mean,
distance
yeah,
is between 0.3 and 0.4
rich people
miles from shore.
have
The
this
captain is
tendency,
going
but
all
it's
in.
still
This is not
crazy
his
to
first
me.
sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before.
oh yes,
The
of
captain's
course,
eyeballing it again.
arrogance,
New heading of 300, he tells the
and
helmsman.
he's still eyeballing it too.
Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point,
Of
the captain
course.
says 325, but the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes,
I
no,
see.
no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the
Oh,
captain clarifies, no, 325.
okay. So I have a degree in linguistics. I'm a translator, and I used to study and like both study and teach people from different countries. And I'm sorry, this is not even like a skill issue. It's a fucking brain issue. Because numbers are like one of the first things you ever learn when you study a new language. There's no way he didn't know like any numbers. Bro, you literally moved to like a different country on the other side of the planet, and you're such a Chad that you decide to completely ignore any like rational thinking, and you're just like, yeah, I can deal with this shit. I can steer this massive boat for the first time in my life without knowing at least like a few words in Italian or English. It's a brain issue, not a skill issue at all.
The helmsman confirms.
This guy's a
325.
lobotomite, like an
Their
actual
poor
one.
communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem: complacency about procedure. The standard
Having a
procedure of
person that
ship
can
this large
communicate with
is
the
for
others
third officer to
is
give
so
exact
smart.
Positional coordinates every time the captain
I-
gives a new.
At this point, just fucking leave the steering wheel. I mean, it is as good without him as it is with him. It's practically useless.
Directional order, but they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship
Okay, so
reaches
he
16
can understand
knots.
some
The
things.
captain then turns
He actually
to the second
can.
officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking
Oh.
against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance.
Reboza.
Cost of Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation,
Are
there
they
is going to be a
blind?
direct
Like,
collision.
what?
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments,
how can you make
every
this worse?
second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard, or we end up on the rocks.
You see? This is exactly what I said. It is not a skill issue, it's a brain issue. You see a big fucking rock, and you drive into it. Instead of turning like to another direction. This guy.
The third officer goes to assist the helmsman.
As much as I hate
Now,
the
don't get
captain,
confused by the orders from here. We're
this
changing over
dude
to rudder
is at fault
instructions.
here.
The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells,
I'm impressed
"Midship,"
that this
which
ship
centers
can
the
even
rudder.
move
The
so
bow is now less than 150 meters from
You know,
Skull Rock.
fast and like
410. But the helmsman only
turn
gets
so
to port
quickly
5 before another order is
and
given
maneuver
2
and
seconds
shit.
later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing.
anyway.
8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late.
Rip
He has just
bozo.
turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold
This
on
is
as the
so
bow of the
stupid,
ship
I
narrowly
can't.
passes by the rocks. Hard to port. The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit."
This dude actually, yeah. Oh no. Hello, Emperor, welcome. Yeah, I'm actually, at this point, I'm actually confident that as much as I think that this captain is a loser, an actual pathetic loser, who's just trying to show off before like his girlfriend and his rich clients, this guy is an actual lobotomite. This may sound mean. I get it, but like seriously, you can't fuck up so many times in a row. If you fuck up once, fine, correct your mistake. If you fucked up twice, you're stupid. If you fucked up twice and then you fucked up another time, I'm sorry, dude. Something is wrong with you, of all people. It's not mean, it's the truth, yeah. Whatever, let's just... Oh yeah. And of course, the Italian gestures. The past. They're so fucked. And you know what's even worse? Look at the timeline. We're not even like halfway through the video. It can get worse. Somehow. Come on. Just impress me. How can you make it even worse?
Nordtown. It's day 56 of playing Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all
It's
by yourself.
crazy that I've never even heard this
Somebody
story
has to.
before. I mean, I
I
did,
hear you're a
but
man
not the
who's
full
good at
story.
finding folks.
I'm many.
It's
things.
hilarious.
I'm looking for this
It's
fella.
it's hilarious for us, but not for the people who were actually there.
I got to find him.
It's fucking
breaking my
scary,
little
dude.
heart.
I'll see what I can do. I
That's
have contacts
exactly
in
what I was
thousands of
talking
servers in
about.
Dozens of
Like-
countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone.
This
The only thing she
whole
left was a
ship
phone card.
is just what my
Sometimes when you
comparison
follow a case,
with an elevator
back.
that was stuck is actually pretty close because there is nothing you can do.
From myself.
There's no way you can do anything to affect the situation you're in. If you're stuck, sorry buddy, you're just stuck. You can't do shit. I will never, ever go on a cruise. This is actually horrifying. I hate planes because I have a fear of heights, but this is getting pretty close to becoming my new phobia. Do they have sharks there? If they do, it's even worse. Or like other horrible sea creatures.
Add over. The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm is panic.
Oh yeah, and imagine how drunk the people are too. They're like partying and shit. Evacuating drunk people is even worse.
Let me out, let me out.
Terrified. There's confusion across the
They're
ship.
so
All of
unstable.
the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding.
Oh.
22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too, everything.
I mean,
The captain orders
at
the helm
least
to
they're
hard
close to the
starboard.
shore.
This is the final position of the rudder before power to that, too,
Initially I thought
is
they were
lost.
like
The Cost
in
of
the middle of the
Concordia,
ocean.
now without power, is
But
drifting
no.
starboard.
It's
Plunge
actually
into
pretty
absolute
close
darkness.
to the land.
A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8 and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics. These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage.
Yeah,
A few seconds later,
exactly
the
what I
emergency
said.
batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And of course,
I mean, he's a magician.
As
He's a fucking magician and he's a good one. If he vanished, my man, what a great show.
passengers are trying to flee
Well
to their
done.
cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side.
Wait, I just noticed something.
The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer, as the
Is this just a bad image, or do they really have such a small part of the ship under the water? There is no way it can hold like this entire thing.
ship begins to list on the port side. There's water
That's
coming
fucked
in?
up.
Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
Oh my god.
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine.
I mean,
control
okay,
room.
it
He
can
confirms to the
work
bridge
in
that at
some
least compartments
cases,
5, 6,
but
and
not
7
when
are flooded.
your ship is literally
Announcement made.
sinking.
behalf of the captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation.
Yeah, but the ship literally collided.
Developments as they occur.
They
Thank you for
definitely
your
noticed. There's no point in
Coincidentally,
lying.
At the same time, in the restaurant, they're playing "My Heart Will Go On," and it's very much not helping the situation.
No, wait, excuse me. Go back. No, 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 no. Again. Wait. Did I hear this right?
They're playing "My Heart Will Go On," and it's very much not helping the situation.
Who
The captain calls
did
the Cost of
this?
Crisis unit.
Please give him a
He
raise.
tells
This
the
is
crisis unit that they've
fucking
that they're
crazy.
assessing damages and that they
Imagine
are also in a
this.
blackout. The
You
crisis office
are-
says to reverse
You're a musician on a sinking ship, and you turn back to your bros and you go, "Hey, let's play the Titanic song." And your dudes are like, "Yeah, let's fucking do this." What the actual fuck? This is insane. I love
the
this.
ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes.
You don't have power to the rudder.
It's
let
the
alone
one.
The engine. You know, hoist the sails. Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a
Fuck.
starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Yeah,
A
right.
panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive
Obviously.
crashing noise, and now the ship is
It's
tilting.
it's literally
So
tilting.
She contacts
so-
her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between
Okay.
Elon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not
At least some
starting.
people are doing
The
their
captain
job.
asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers
Oh.
begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The
Okay,
cruise
so
director
at
says,
this point, he's lying not to prevent the panic, he's lying to save his own career, I assume. But, like, eventually people will still get to the shore, and your boss will learn about this. How can you be so stupid?
"We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. "How long has this blackout been going on?" "About 20 minutes. "Have you asked passengers to put on life vests?" It's just a blackout. I gotta go." The harbour master
But they
is
won't
suspicious.
send enough
He says to
rescue
his superiors that he thinks something more is going on.
people.
He calls a patrol
If you
boat
won't
to
tell
the
the
area and
truth.
asks them to look at the ship. Another
Like-
problem. The
I never, and I hope I will never, ever encounter this IRL, but like, don't you want to actually describe the entire scope of the, like, tragedy to let them know how quickly they should deliver this help and how many people they should, use in this case. But no, I guess he has a different plan.
fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions, like, "Is it still flooded?" Yes it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, "The ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing." He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat?" When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad and they are not going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the scene. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, "Everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem." She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Capo.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So
Okay, at least some people on this ship have brains.
The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandon ship! Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. And at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain
Fuck,
declares
and some
distress.
people literally
The
brought
Coast Guard
kids with
officially
them
calls for
on
rescue
board.
operations. They contact Pietro Mile, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore.
Oh, it's even closer than I thought. Yeah. Well, I guess the main problem here is that it's like really cold, probably.
Perhaps too close to
At
shore,
night.
the ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity. And it begins
Also, it's bad?
heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The
Whenever you think that it's already pretty bad and it can't get any worse, somehow it gets even worse, and it's like a lot worse than you expected it to be. I am both terrified and impressed.
announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out. And with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there
Oh,
aren't enough readily
shit.
available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless.
Is there this
The
one
deputy mayor of
competent
Giglio,
person on
Mario
the ship? What the
and
fuck?
tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning
Damn,
to
what
the
a
ship,
Chad.
and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri
Excuse me.
Scatino tells everyone to
One
leave
more
and
time.
take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit.
One more.
But not
I need
before
to
changing out of his
comprehend
uniform
this
and
part.
into a nice suit. Priority.
Why? Why? Bro. He probably thought like, yeah, if I am dying here, at least I'm going to die in my full drip.
Priorities. Dimitri Christidis and Sylvia Coronica
This
leave
is
with
so
him. The maitre d' and
stupid.
Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That
Okay.
means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke anymore. Yes.
You're not allowed to make a film movie.
I'm allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model,
What?
sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So
What
the
the
captain makes
fuck
it
is
short.
going
From
on
here,
in
we
this
only have
story?
mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate.
I see
But they
so
say that
many
Julius
clouds,
police chief then finds
but I
110
don't
survivors
see
on the rock
any
at Point
circus
Gatlinara.
around.
And among them
What the
is
fuck?
the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing.
Ah, yes, of course.
A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15
Of course, yes.
Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down.
Now
of
it's
his
religion.
entire life. Port
I mean,
authorities
at least
ask
he's
the
wearing
taxi
his
driver to
suit.
Take the captain back to
I
his
hope it
hotel.
was worth it.
The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only
Good.
asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened,
What a
Captain?
moron. Oh
We were the
my
last to leave the
god.
ship.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last
I
survivor,
mean, I do sleep like a log too, but this is a whole other level.
Enrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin service director. In the end, 32 people died. The final body
Oh my
wasn't
God.
discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The
Fuck.
Cost of Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
So just imagine the face of the dude who owns the company. You wake up in your cool, rich mansion, probably, and you receive a call, and you're like, damn, what can possibly go wrong? And then you hear that some of your employees explain to you how your most expensive ship was crashed with 30 people dead. I fucking choked. And all of this because one dude decided to not evacuate people in time, and because he hired some random guy from Indonesia who doesn't even speak your language. And you're just sitting there and you're like, damn, my fucking ship. Oh my god. Wow. Just wow.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point.
No. Bro. We're not even close.
What most people know is that the Cost of Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in.
Ew.
There they are. The deets.
Bro. That's some high quality production. This video's budget went into this one pot. How the hell is this only half a
The
point?
Cost of Concordia
I
was
have no
more
idea.
than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This
Yeah,
iron
like,
chest
this is exactly what I was talking in the very beginning.
resort. There's a mall, a casino,
You have no lifeboats, like actual good lifeboats that you can trust. You have no safety measures, but you have a fucking mall and a casino. I never owned a cruise ship, and I will never own one. But I assume that the reason why they do this is because it's like illegal in Italy. You do have a casino. How? I wish. So you see, my theory is that in Italy, this whole shit is like banned. I mean, casino and gambling. So when people go on board of one of those cruise ships, they can actually gamble, avoiding the law. And this ship is also like expensive as fuck, and you need to maintain it, like do shit like buy food, pay the performers, the electricity, like all of the bills. So you need to somehow earn enough money to still make it profitable. So probably that's why you do this. But having a fucking mall and a casino instead of having more lifeboats is crazy to me.
cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone. Within days, police
Wait,
divers
really?
reported that
Looters?
valuable items
No way.
once seen lying around the ship were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay.
Some
Chips from the
things
casino,
never
postcards,
change.
and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there
Okay.
were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Oh no. He was so close.
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But
Yes,
first,
please.
we have to talk about someone else. Dominika Samorton.
That was a close one.
Okay.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
I mean, this was obvious from the very beginning.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
but she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Mr. Morton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have...
I give you just 1 week to tell the truth about what happened immediately after you did the announcement to abandon ship. 1 week. Wow.
But 1
okay,
week
Karen.
to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card.
What?
In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
I mean, it's Italy,
rumors began
so
that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia.
who's surprised?
And not without
Not me.
cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
I mean, now we can see how he hired that dude who couldn't speak English or Italian. He was probably just high.
Nonetheless, the Concordia
Makes
was
sense
searched
to
and no
me.
drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship?
Why the fuck was there coke in his hair? I have no idea. I can only make an assumption that, like, sometimes people sniff cocaine from each other. Maybe someone sniffed cocaine from his hair. I have no idea.
Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? Scatino cheated on his wife with C. Morton. Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I
Well,
died
your
the second
brain
time
is definitely dead.
because, of course, people find out something.
And
that
I am dying
try
from
to
cringe.
hide.
Subsequent
Does
to the
this
trial,
count?
she used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio.
Oh, so
and
she's like an
afterwards covering
actual
protests, accompanied
exceptional
by pictures of her
Karen.
being arrested by police. It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada, and interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god, not again.
Oh no. Hide your twin towers, guys.
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Cost of Concordia, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Ooh, it's even worse. So imagine you wake up Your your ship is destroyed. Your most expensive one. Your captain and like the entire crew is under arrest. And then you'll lose the rest of your money.
Passengers sought
Damn.
compensation for their damaged
This
mental
is
health,
crazy.
lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Cost of Concordia offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Here, take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Cost of Concordia would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Cost of Concordia is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flexed the residual droplets of
Well, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe this guy Scatino is at fault for hiring that ex-painter and for deviating from his course, but what bothers me is that his company basically hired him, and he was the head of security, right? It was said in the very beginning. He wasn't a captain initially. He was just some random dude from their like safety department. They promoted him to captain, to this position, and they're just paying this sum of money and escaping. I love Europe so much.
Responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Scams?
New York attorney Peter Renee travelled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ron.
I'm confused.
I have
I'm not
lost
sure where
my
this is
daughter,
going."
Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story.
Oh,
neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger
see.
list. Odd. But Costa
They were
is known for
pretending to
having
be
stolen.
victims to get money.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious.
I mean, this is smart.
Cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
"Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details."
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of
Oh,
doing
you
this,
don't
you've never
say.
had anyone ask about money.
It was very
Why now?
obvious.
So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter?
Yep, just
At first, he was
casually
confused.
admitting.
So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't.
Just a normal day in Eastern
That night,
Europe, I
Renai
guess.
met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle! And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Oh, Petey.
Poor guy.
I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary,
Even for
a former
drugs?
communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The law firm that never sleeps, call 1-800-664.
What the actual fuck? This whole video can be described with just one word. Europe. That's it.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course.
Get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship. And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways.
This stupid
On the other
story
hand,
just
his boss
turned
said,
into political
it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more
fucking
maturity
game.
and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said buenas noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate.
He was elected just because he dissed
still
some
serves
random
there
dude.
today.
I'm the captain now.
Good job. Good for him. Finally!
The day
Jail.
after the disaster, Scatino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rye magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian.
Fuck?
But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Hold on, I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away,
Europe.
everyone lodges a plea bargain.
What else
with
can I
the court,
say?
and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for
Really? That painter dude
Ciro, Jacob, and
got away with only like a year and a half?
Sylvia were
Fuck
all given
off.
suspended sentences.
Well,
Roberto
a bit
and
more
Manrico are
than
able
that,
to
but
opt for
still.
community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. A good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge. That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again, and he hasn't been found since. After that,
No
Ferrarini gave his
way.
testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so
Dude.
let's just go straight to the verdict.
Dude is literally good enough to hide from the investigators, but he's too dumb to turn a fucking steering wheel. Impressive. Europe.
Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected!
Yeah, he's
Schettino's
so
lawyers appealed
stupid,
again.
he is genius.
And the verdict on the final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
It took them 5 years?
I will not be making any comment. Oh, that hurt.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely.
So
By July
much
2014,
money
the water was removed
and
from the sponsons and compressed
like
air
actual
was pumped in to
impressive
lift the
labor
ship.
of so many people
And she was ready to cruise
because
again.
of such a
This time to a port
stupid,
in Genoa.
stupid
It was a 4-day
story.
towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of
Wow.
dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples.
Fuck
he appeared on the front
you.
page of a local newspaper. flanked by two of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
At this point, like, what can you even do to actually punish him?
So these are the things that I remember from the Cost of Concordia.
Europe.
That's
just one word, Europe.
Maiden of the Sea. And as for you, little fella,
This would never have happened in any other region of this world. This is ridiculous.
well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
I don't even know what to say. I have no idea. Interesting how the random lady on the ship who called her daughter did more to save lives than the captain. Oh god. What a video. First of all, this dude is crazy. A 46, almost 47-minute video with this editing is actually impressive. Good job. And it was also very entertaining. It's like I watched a movie. Second, what the fuck was this story? I literally can't believe this is real. It's like I watched a comedy. What the? Yeah, this is crazy. I am never, ever going on a cruise. The fact that all that happened because the helmsman didn't know English or Italian, yeah. Literally, like, as much as I hate Scatino, like, he's an actual asshole. He's a degenerate. But even though he hired this dude, even though he decided to do this sail by salute to show off in front of his girlfriend, even though like all of this shit was abandoning his ship happened, it still all comes to this one stupid idiot who couldn't see a rock in front of his ship and turn a steering wheel into another direction. Good fucking job, buddy. This is fucking incredible. Area 51 video is next. Not today, but at some point. God, I can't even be mad, you know? I'm so shocked to the point where I'm like, I don't even know what emotion I should experience right now.